Hello, John Lomas here at the Nanango Camera Club, having a great day photographing models Paige and Tony. I want you to know we're getting really great pictures here today. I'm really impressed with what I've seen, and I'm sure the club will be getting honours and merits for a long time to come, so it's a pleasure being here and I hope to come back at a later date. It's called hard light, or hard-edged light, and it produces hard-edged shadows. The one thing I've learned over time is we can be like magicians and turn hard-edged light, or hard light, into soft light, and anybody can do it. Now today I brought along some diffuser panels and reflectors and things like that. So right now, is there a little shadow under my nose?
Yeah.
One of my favourite lights in the studio is light like this, where there's a really hard-edged shadow under the nose. It's often called Hollywood glamour or butterfly lighting. Have a look at the work from the 30s and 40s, and they do this all the time. And it depends on your subject. Like if we've got an old bushy type bloke and want to get all that texture out of his skin, it's really great light to have. Now, the shadows haven't actually disappeared. If we had the model here looking this way, to harvest the sunlight, I mean obviously this is probably going to blind you, see? Okay, oops. But we can still get some, you see how we can still actually, can you see the effect? Okay. These diffusers, by the way, there's a gold one, which is the most powerful one in terms of the amount of light it reflects. They unzip. There's also a silver. Silver's much less potent, it's probably better. There's also white. White works too. Look, it's more neutral. And of course, there's also a black. Black's like light absorber. Sometimes you want to create shadows. Don't be frightened of creating deeper shadows. So if you've got shadows and you take a piece of material to one side, you actually darken down the shadows. And we can turn any light from hard light to soft light, and we can harvest light, do all sorts of things. And really, once you know that, you've taken one quantum leap in doing outside portraiture. Can you imagine a background that's shiny green but out of focus? So how do you get a background out of focus? Anyone know? Depth of field, that's the key word. It's not in focus. Minimum depth of field. And that's good, that isolates your subject from your background. So think about the background, think about your depth of field, the lens you're using. Often we used to call telephoto lenses the portrait lens. So keep that in mind. So it's good to have a longer lens. If I had a wide angle lens, you have to go progressively closer to the person for them to fill the frame. And of course the tip of the nose is bigger compared to the ear. So the nose gets bigger, you get that exaggeration of facial perspective. People don't necessarily want to, like have a nose that's coming out too far. There's a lot of tricks with lenses or viewpoint. Just saying earlier, like too many people just photograph from here. This is for all your photography, like the old, eye height. And the viewer knows straight away it was taken from eye height, you can tell. It's normally the most boring spot you can get, the eye height picture, so be prepared to go up and down. If you're doing full length, big tip is to shoot low. Get on your backside and sort of shoot low, and a person will look bigger in the frame. When you're doing close-up head and shoulder shots, and they're the easiest to do, it often pays to get the eyes in the top third. Don't be afraid to chop off tops of heads. Okay? Get the eyes on the top third, and often on a diagonal. Time and time again, you'll see some of the really great portraits that they've got that diagonal sort of eye thing. You wouldn't necessarily shoot high because you don't lose the bottom. If you're a little bit skinny on top, you wouldn't necessarily highlight that fact with light, you see. And you'll probably see a highlight in the eye, which is a highlight from the gold reflector. One of the rules of these portraits are to get some life in the eyes, meaning a highlight, you've got an advantage. The Well, you don't want to overexpose, but if you're looking at your histograms, remember to push histogram to the right. It pays to sort of find a spot. It pays to be able to reflect some light to lighten up the face. It pays, well, we found this is called a naturally soft light area, okay? But so we didn't use a diffuser here. So you're going to get a hot full Perfect. That's good. Let's help that getting trees down. Good stuff. No, don't worry about that. It'll take you 15 minutes. But the pistol good sits on
Like, you're better off not having part blue background, part green.
No, you can still have a bit of blue in the background, that's not a problem. But definitely don't get any trees growing out of the head.
Growing out of their head. Yeah, that's it.
Just drop it down a little bit stuff. That's it. She's having a change. Oh, that's right, yeah. Good open lip like down 2 pages. The real anonymous. Okay, you're anonymous, that's it. Oh, I like that. Yep. See the elegance of the hand? You had the hand, see how I dropped your hand? It was good like that. See the elegance of the fingers? That was good.
Your zippers.
Keep them away. Can you see the lighting here? As soon as we take the things away, it's a bit blotchy. So how much better is it by having one diffuser there and one reflector there? You've got to have oxiders for this. But it definitely helps, doesn't it? It's chalk and cheese. Let's try something else. Maybe we've got a page against one of these. That's wonderful, Peter. Look at that. That's, look, I mean, can you see the look? We're not running the smiley look. It's more like smooth looks. That's really good. Now, look at that. Can you?
We're trying to get our whole body in.